Welcome to the Book Lounge. Today we're diving into the groundbreaking ideas of Start With Why by Simon Sinek. Ever wondered why some organizations inspire action and loyalty while others fade away? Sinek's insights will reveal how understanding your purpose can transform your life and career. Join us as we explore the power of starting with why. It might just change the way you think about success. Let's get started. Chapter 1, Assume You Know, opens with the idea that many organizations and individuals operate on assumptions. They believe they know why they are successful or why things are the way they are, but these assumptions are often superficial. Simon Sinek uses this chapter to challenge the reader to rethink the way they approach success, decision-making, and leadership. The key message is that people and organizations frequently rely on manipulations to influence behavior, things like price drops, promotions, or fear-based tactics. These tactics work, but only in the short term. Sinek emphasizes that although these methods may boost sales or influence behavior temporarily, they fail to build long-lasting loyalty or trust. Instead, they create a transactional relationship between customers and companies, or between leaders and employees, which is not sustainable. In contrast to these manipulative tactics, Sinek introduces the importance of finding and understanding one's why, the deeper purpose or cause that inspires loyalty and long-term success. He argues that leaders and organizations that operate with a clear sense of why they do what they do are far more successful at inspiring loyalty and commitment from their followers or customers. By assuming they already know why they are successful, many people miss the opportunity to dig deeper into their true purpose. Sinek suggests that this assumption prevents organizations from reaching their full potential. To truly inspire and lead, one must question their assumptions and focus on the underlying reasons behind their actions, not just the results. In short, Chapter 1 sets the stage for understanding how clarity of purpose and questioning assumptions are vital to achieving long-term success and authentic leadership. Chapter 2, Carrots and Sticks, explores the various ways organizations and leaders try to motivate people, focusing on two main categories: manipulation and inspiration. Manipulations like carrots and sticks are tactics used to drive behavior in the short term, but they don't build lasting loyalty or trust. Sinek outlines common manipulative tactics such as dropping prices, running promotions, or using fear to drive urgency. These tactics, while effective in spurring action temporarily, have limitations. For example, lowering prices can lead to increased sales, but it doesn't necessarily mean customers are loyal to the brand. They might just be drawn in by the deal. Similarly, promotions like buy one, get one free create a sense of urgency, but don't inspire long-term commitment to the company or its products. Fear is another powerful tool of manipulation. Sinek highlights how fear-based advertising can push people to act, but like other manipulations, it's transactional. It can compel someone to buy insurance or make a decision out of anxiety, but once the fear dissipates, the emotional connection fades and loyalty remains shallow. The problem with these approaches is that they create an expectation of further manipulations in the future. Once people are used to a company offering discounts or rewards, they come to expect them, and the relationship becomes more about the next deal rather than true trust or loyalty. Over time, the cost of maintaining this relationship increases as businesses have to keep offering bigger or more frequent incentives. In contrast, Sinek explains that true, lasting success comes from inspiration rather than manipulation. When organizations or leaders are clear about their why, the deeper purpose behind their actions, they create a sense of belonging and connection that transcends the need for external rewards. People are drawn to companies and leaders who inspire them because they believe in the same purpose or cause, not just because they offer the best deal. The chapter closes by suggesting that while manipulations may get short-term results, they are not sustainable for building strong, loyal relationships. Leaders and companies that understand the power of inspiration, driven by their why, are more likely to foster trust, loyalty, and long-term success. The challenge is to shift from using carrots and sticks to focusing on why you do what you do. Chapter 3, The Golden Circle introduces one of the book's central concepts, a framework that explains how great leaders and organizations inspire action. The Golden Circle consists of three concentric rings: why, how, and what. 1. What? Every organization knows what they do. This refers to the products or services they offer. 2. How? Some organizations know how they do it. This is their unique value proposition or the differentiating factors that set them apart from competitors. 3. Why? Very few organizations know why they do what they do. This isn't about making a profit. That's a result. Why refers to the purpose, cause, or belief that drives the organization. It's the reason the organization exists beyond just financial gain. Sinek emphasizes that most companies and individuals communicate from the outside in, starting with what and moving inward. They talk about what they sell and how they're different, but often fail to articulate their deeper purpose or why they exist. This approach can work, but it doesn't inspire loyalty or deep emotional connection. In contrast, truly inspiring leaders and companies operate from the inside out, starting with why. By clearly communicating their purpose or belief, they attract customers and followers who share the same values. For instance, Apple is a classic example used in this chapter. Apple doesn't just sell computers and phones, the what. It communicates a deeper belief in challenging the status quo and thinking differently, the why. This approach inspires a loyal customer base that resonates with Apple's purpose. The power of the Golden Circle lies in its ability to explain why some leaders and organizations achieve more significant influence and loyalty than others. When you start with why, you appeal to the part of the brain responsible for emotions, behavior, and decision-making, the limbic brain. This emotional connection drives loyalty, which is far more powerful than rational decision-making alone. The chapter concludes by stressing that while most organizations can explain what they do and how they do it, the truly great ones start with why. By doing so, they build trust, loyalty, and lasting success. Because people don't just buy what they do, they buy why they do it. Chapter 4, This is Not Opinion, This is Biology, delves into the biological basis behind why the principles of the Golden Circle are so effective. Sinek explains that the way people respond to why is not just a marketing idea. It's rooted in how our brains work. The chapter breaks down the brain into two key parts that align with the Golden Circle: the neocortex and the limbic brain. The neocortex is responsible for analytical thinking and language. It handles the what of the Golden Circle, allowing us to understand facts, figures, and features. However, the neocortex does not drive behavior or decision-making. This is why simply explaining what a company does, such as listing product features, doesn't inspire deep loyalty or action. In contrast, the limbic brain, which controls emotions, behavior, and decision-making, is aligned with the why and how parts of the Golden Circle. The limbic brain doesn't have the capacity for language, but it's the part of the brain that influences our gut feelings and emotional connections. When companies or leaders communicate their why, they are speaking directly to this emotional part of the brain, which drives behavior. Sinek uses this biological explanation to highlight why starting with why is so powerful. People make decisions based on feelings, often at a subconscious level, and then rationalize those decisions with facts. This is why someone might say, "I just feel right about this decision," or "it doesn't feel right," without being able to fully articulate why. The limbic brain is at work, driving that emotional response. The chapter also emphasizes that inspiring loyalty comes from appealing to people's emotions and values. When organizations lead with why, they tap into the limbic brain, fostering a sense of trust and loyalty. This is far more effective than simply relying on facts and figures alone. Ultimately, Sinek argues that understanding the biology behind decision-making and human behavior is critical for leaders and organizations. By recognizing that people are driven by emotional connections, leaders can inspire action and build lasting relationships with their followers or customers. The success of starting with why is grounded in how our brains are wired, not just in theory or opinion. Chapter 5, Clarity, Discipline, and Consistency explores the essential elements needed to turn a clear why into a long-lasting, successful organization or movement. Sinek explains that it's not enough to simply know your why. You must also take disciplined action and maintain consistency to build trust and loyalty over time. First, clarity of why is critical. Leaders and organizations need to be crystal clear about their purpose, cause, or belief, their why. Without clarity, it's easy to lose focus or send mixed messages, which can confuse followers or customers. Knowing your why ensures that every decision aligns with your core purpose. The clearer you are about your why, the easier it becomes to communicate and inspire others to believe in what you stand for. Second, discipline of how refers to the actions you take to bring your why to life. Sinek explains that the how represents the values, guiding principles, or processes that set an organization apart and enable it to stay true to its purpose. Discipline is necessary because actions speak louder than words. It's not enough to have a clear purpose. Leaders and organizations must also consistently behave in ways that reflect their why. This discipline creates a sense of authenticity and trustworthiness. Finally, consistency of what is about ensuring that everything an organization produces, whether it's a product, service, or message, is aligned with its why and how. Consistency builds trust over time because it shows that an organization or leader is reliable. When customers or followers repeatedly see the same values reflected in the company's actions, products, and communications, they begin to trust that the organization is authentic in its mission. Sinek stresses that all three elements, clarity, discipline, and consistency, are essential for long-term success. If any one of these is missing, an organization will struggle to build trust and loyalty. For example, if a company knows its why but doesn't have the discipline to follow through with actions, it will appear hypocritical. Or if a company's products or messages are inconsistent with its purpose, customers may lose trust. The chapter concludes by reinforcing the idea that trust and loyalty are built over time when organizations stay true to their why through disciplined actions and consistent outputs. This combination of clarity, discipline, and consistency creates the foundation for long-term success and inspires lasting loyalty from followers and customers. Chapter 6, The Emergence of Trust, delves into the role trust plays in successful leadership and organizations. Sinek explains that trust is a critical factor in building strong teams, customer loyalty, and long-term success, but it doesn't happen overnight. Trust emerges when leaders consistently act in line with their why and foster an environment of safety and reliability. Trust begins with shared values. People naturally gravitate toward those who believe what they believe. When an organization communicates its why clearly, it attracts employees, partners, and customers who share those same beliefs. This shared sense of purpose creates a foundation for trust, as people feel they are part of something bigger than themselves. The more aligned people are with the organization's why, the more willing they are to trust and commit to it. Another key aspect of trust is authentic leadership. Leaders who embody their organization's why through their actions inspire confidence in others. When people see a leader behaving consistently with the organization's values, they are more likely to trust that leader. Authentic leaders build trust by being transparent, predictable, and aligning their behavior with their stated purpose. This consistency over time strengthens relationships and loyalty. Sinek also emphasizes the importance of creating a safe environment. In organizations where people feel safe, they are more willing to take risks, be innovative, and collaborate effectively. Leaders play a vital role in fostering this sense of safety. When leaders prioritize their team's well-being and create a culture where people can express themselves without fear, trust naturally grows. Employees are more likely to trust leaders who protect them, enabling them to focus on doing their best work. On the flip side, manipulation and fear destroy trust. When leaders rely on fear-based tactics such as threats or manipulative incentives, they create environments where people feel insecure and disconnected. In these conditions, trust cannot emerge, and the organization suffers from high turnover and low loyalty. The chapter concludes by reinforcing that trust is not something that can be demanded or forced. It emerges organically when leaders consistently act with integrity and authenticity, and when people feel aligned with a shared purpose. Trust is the foundation of strong relationships and is key to creating environments where people feel empowered and loyal. Building trust takes time, but it is essential for long-term success and meaningful leadership. Chapter 7, How a Tipping Point Tips, examines the dynamics behind how ideas, products, and movements gain traction and reach a tipping point. Sinek introduces the concept of the law of the few, which states that a small number of people can drive significant change, particularly when they are connected through shared beliefs or values. Sinek identifies 3 key types of individuals crucial to this process: connectors, mavens, and salespeople. 1. Connectors are those individuals who have a vast network and can link people from different spheres. They thrive on social interactions and are adept at building relationships, often introducing ideas to a wider audience. Their ability to bring diverse groups together helps amplify messages and expand reach. Number 2, mavens are information specialists. They love sharing knowledge and have a deep understanding of various subjects. Mavens are trusted sources of information, and their recommendations hold significant weight. When they believe in an idea or product, their endorsement can lead to widespread acceptance and credibility. 3. Salespeople are persuasive individuals who excel at communicating ideas and inspiring action. They possess charisma and can effectively convey messages, making them instrumental in influencing others to adopt new concepts or behaviors. Sinek emphasizes that these 3 types of people play a crucial role in tipping points, as they create the social networks that facilitate the spread of ideas. However, while these individuals are vital, the underlying principle that drives their influence is the shared why. When ideas resonate with people's beliefs and values, they are more likely to share them, leading to a snowball effect. The chapter also highlights the importance of reaching the early adopters, those who are willing to embrace new ideas before they become mainstream. Early adopters are essential because they can help validate a concept and encourage wider acceptance. Their enthusiasm can create momentum, pushing an idea closer to the tipping point where it becomes widely adopted. Sinek introduces the tipping point itself, which occurs when an idea moves from the early adopters to the masses. This shift often happens suddenly, driven by the collective influence of connectors, mavens, and salespeople. The combination of these dynamics and the clarity of the why behind an idea allows it to gain traction, ultimately transforming it into a movement. The chapter concludes by reinforcing that for a tipping point to occur, leaders must focus on creating a strong sense of purpose and connection among people. When individuals feel aligned with a shared belief, they become passionate advocates, driving ideas forward and creating the conditions necessary for transformative change. Chapter 8, Start with Why but Know How, emphasizes the importance of balancing a clear sense of purpose with the practical implementation of that purpose through effective strategies and processes. Sinek reiterates that while knowing your why is crucial for inspiring and leading, it is equally important to understand the how, the methods and actions that will bring that purpose to life. Sinek begins by highlighting that having a strong why without a corresponding how can lead to chaos or ineffectiveness. A compelling vision can inspire, but if there are no concrete actions to support that vision, it risks becoming just an abstract idea. Leaders need to ensure that their organization has the necessary systems, processes, and values in place to operationalize their why. The chapter discusses how successful organizations integrate their how into their culture and practices. This includes establishing clear values and guiding principles that align with the why. These values serve as a framework for decision-making and behavior within the organization, ensuring that everyone is working toward the same purpose. Sinek stresses that the how should not be seen as a separate entity from the why. Instead, it is an extension of it. Sinek illustrates this balance with examples from various organizations. For instance, he points to companies that not only articulate their purpose clearly, but also embed that purpose into their operational practices. This alignment allows them to make decisions that are consistent with their core beliefs, fostering a strong culture and building trust with employees and customers alike. Additionally, the chapter addresses the challenges organizations face when they lose sight of their how. When leaders become disconnected from their original purpose, it can lead to practices that may conflict with their why. This misalignment can erode trust and loyalty, both internally among employees and externally with customers. Sinek emphasizes the need for leaders to remain vigilant and intentional about maintaining this alignment. The chapter concludes by affirming that starting with why is essential for inspiration, but to achieve lasting impact, leaders must also ensure that their how is defined and effectively implemented. This combination of purpose and practice not only drives operational success, but also nurtures a culture of authenticity, innovation, and loyalty. By understanding and communicating both their why and how, organizations can create a powerful and sustainable foundation for success. Chapter 9, Know Why, Know How, Then What, emphasizes the importance of a clear sequence in understanding and executing a vision for any organization. Sinek argues that successful organizations begin with a deep understanding of their purpose, why, follow with the methods that support that purpose, how, and finally articulate their products or services, what. The chapter opens by reinforcing that many organizations tend to reverse this order. They often focus primarily on the what, the products or services they offer, without establishing a clear sense of purpose. This leads to a transactional relationship with customers where decisions are driven by features, price, and competition rather than by a shared belief or purpose. Sinek illustrates that starting with why is vital for establishing an emotional connection with customers and employees. When organizations are clear about their purpose, they create a strong foundation for loyalty and trust. The how then becomes essential in defining the values and processes that guide the organization. This includes the unique approaches or methods that differentiate them in the market. The final component, what, is where the actual products and services come into play. However, Sinek stresses that these should be a natural extension of the organization's why and how. When what is aligned with the purpose and values, the organization is better equipped to communicate its message authentically and compellingly. Throughout the chapter, Sinek uses examples from successful organizations to illustrate his points. For instance, he highlights companies that have built strong brands around their why, enabling them to develop loyal customer bases. These organizations don't just sell products, they sell a vision that resonates with people's values, making customers feel like they are part of something bigger. Sinek also discusses the consequences of neglecting this order. Organizations that focus solely on what may find themselves constantly competing on price or features, leading to a race to the bottom. This approach often results in burnout among employees as they lack a deeper connection to the work they do. The chapter concludes by emphasizing that to truly inspire and lead, individuals and organizations must clarify their why, effectively define their how, and then communicate their what in a way that aligns with their purpose. This sequence fosters a culture of innovation, loyalty, and sustained success, ultimately allowing organizations to thrive in a competitive landscape. By understanding and applying this framework, leaders can create environments that inspire and motivate others to join them on their journey. Chapter 10, Communication is not about speaking, it's about listening, focuses on the critical role of effective communication in leadership and organizational success. Sinek emphasizes that true communication is less about delivering messages and more about actively listening to others. This shift in perspective can foster deeper connections and stronger relationships within teams and with customers. The chapter begins by highlighting the common misconception that effective communication is primarily about speaking clearly and persuasively. While articulating ideas is important, Sinek argues that genuine communication begins with understanding others. Listening allows leaders to grasp the emotions, motivations, and concerns of their teams and customers. This understanding is essential for building trust and loyalty. Sinek points out that great leaders prioritize listening as a means to engage their audience. By truly hearing what others have to say, leaders can respond more thoughtfully and create an environment where people feel valued and heard. This approach not only enhances morale, but also encourages collaboration and innovation. When individuals feel comfortable sharing their thoughts, organizations can tap into diverse perspectives that lead to better decision-making and problem-solving. The chapter also discusses the significance of empathy in communication. Leaders who practice empathy are better equipped to understand the needs and feelings of others. This empathetic approach fosters a culture of respect and inclusivity, where individuals feel safe expressing themselves. Sinek asserts that when leaders listen with empathy, they can identify underlying issues and address them more effectively, leading to stronger team dynamics and organizational cohesion. Sinek uses examples from various organizations to illustrate how listening can lead to better outcomes. Companies that actively seek feedback from employees and customers tend to have higher levels of satisfaction and loyalty. By showing that they value input, these organizations create a sense of ownership and commitment among their stakeholders. The chapter also addresses the barriers to effective listening, such as distractions and preconceived notions. Sinek encourages leaders to cultivate an environment that minimizes these barriers, allowing for open and honest dialogue. This might involve setting aside dedicated time for conversations, ensuring a distraction-free atmosphere, and approaching discussions with an open mind. In conclusion, Sinek emphasizes that effective communication hinges on listening rather than merely speaking. Leaders who prioritize active listening and empathetic engagement can foster trust, enhance collaboration, and drive organizational success. By understanding the perspectives of others, leaders can create a more connected and innovative environment, ultimately achieving greater impact and fulfillment within their organizations. Chapter 11, When Why Goes Fuzzy, explores the challenges organizations face when their core purpose or why becomes unclear or diluted over time. Sinek emphasizes that a clear why is essential for maintaining focus, motivation, and loyalty, both from employees and customers. When organizations lose sight of their purpose, it can lead to confusion, disconnection, and ultimately failure. The chapter opens by discussing the common scenario where successful organizations begin to stray from their original mission as they grow. Rapid expansion, changes in leadership, or shifts in market dynamics can contribute to a gradual obscuring of the foundational why. When this happens, the organization may start to prioritize short-term goals, such as profit maximization, over its deeper purpose. This shift can erode the core values that initially attracted employees and customers. Sinek identifies several warning signs that indicate an organization's why is becoming fuzzy. These include a decline in employee engagement, increased turnover, and a lack of clarity in decision-making. Employees who no longer feel connected to the organization's purpose may become disengaged, leading to reduced productivity and creativity. Customers, too, may lose loyalty if they sense that the organization is no longer aligned with their values. To counteract this problem, Sinek stresses the importance of regularly revisiting and reaffirming the why. Organizations should continually assess their core purpose and ensure it remains at the forefront of their strategies and decisions. This involves open communication and fostering a culture where employees feel comfortable discussing the organization's mission and values. When everyone is encouraged to engage with the why, it reinforces a shared commitment and strengthens the organizational culture. Sinek also emphasizes that leaders play a critical role in maintaining clarity around the why. Leaders must model behaviors that reflect the organization's purpose and consistently communicate its importance. When leaders exemplify the core values in their actions and decisions, they inspire others to do the same. The chapter concludes by highlighting that clarity of purpose is not a one-time achievement, but an ongoing process. Organizations must remain vigilant and adaptable to ensure their why stays relevant and resonates with both employees and customers. By fostering a culture of purpose and alignment, organizations can navigate challenges more effectively, ensuring long-term success and resilience. In essence, Sinek underscores that a clear and compelling why is essential for maintaining trust, loyalty, and engagement. When organizations actively work to keep their purpose front and center, they can continue to inspire their teams and customers, fostering a thriving and motivated environment. Chapter 12, Split Happens, explores the challenges organizations face as they grow and evolve, particularly the risk of disconnecting from their core purpose or why. Sinek highlights that as organizations expand, they may inadvertently stray from their foundational beliefs, leading to confusion and disengagement among employees and customers. The chapter begins by acknowledging that growth, while essential for success, can create tensions within an organization. As companies scale, they often introduce new products, hire diverse talent, or enter different markets. This process can dilute the original mission and values, causing a split between what the organization stands for and how it operates. When this occurs, the focus shifts from the purpose to merely achieving results, leading to a culture that prioritizes profit over passion. Sinek identifies key signs that indicate a split is happening. One major indicator is a lack of clarity among employees regarding the organization's mission and goals. When employees are unsure about the core why, it can lead to feelings of disconnection and disengagement. Another sign is a decline in customer loyalty. When customers no longer resonate with the organization's purpose, they may turn to competitors who better align with their values. To illustrate the concept of a split, Sinek shares examples of organizations that have lost sight of their why. He points out that many companies begin with a strong sense of purpose, but over time shift their focus to operational efficiency and financial metrics. This shift often results in a culture where employees feel like cogs in a machine rather than integral parts of a shared mission. To prevent or address a split, Sinek emphasizes the importance of strong leadership and communication. Leaders must actively reinforce the core purpose during times of change. This involves regularly reminding employees of the organization's mission and values and demonstrating how their work contributes to that purpose. Leaders should also create an environment that encourages open dialogue, allowing employees to voice concerns and share ideas. The chapter concludes with the idea that maintaining a clear why is not a one-time effort, but an ongoing process. Organizations must be vigilant and adaptable, continuously checking in with their core values and ensuring they remain aligned with their actions. By fostering a culture of purpose and engagement, organizations can navigate growth successfully without sacrificing their foundational beliefs. In essence, Sinek underscores that splits can undermine trust and loyalty, but can be mitigated through proactive leadership and a commitment to maintaining clarity around the why. By doing so, organizations can thrive while staying true to their mission and values. Chapter 13, The Origins of a Why, delves into how individuals and organizations can uncover their core purpose, or why. Sinek emphasizes that a clear understanding of one's why is not just beneficial but essential for effective leadership and organizational success. He asserts that knowing the origin of a why can provide clarity, inspire action, and foster a strong connection among team members. Sinek begins by explaining that the why often stems from personal experiences, beliefs, or values that resonate deeply with individuals or founders of an organization. These experiences can shape the vision and mission of the company. He encourages leaders to reflect on their own stories and motivations to identify the underlying reasons for their pursuits. This introspection is critical as it helps clarify what they stand for and why they do what they do. The chapter also emphasizes that discovering a why is not a linear process, but rather a journey of exploration. Sinek suggests asking reflective questions such as, what events or experiences have shaped my beliefs? What values do I hold most dear? What impact do I want to have on others? By examining their personal narratives, leaders can uncover the deeper motivations that drive them and their organizations. Sinek highlights that organizations can benefit from a collective exploration of their why. This can involve engaging employees in discussions about the company's mission and values. By creating a collaborative environment where everyone contributes their insights, organizations can arrive at a shared understanding of their purpose. This process not only helps clarify the why, but also fosters a sense of ownership and commitment among employees. Additionally, Sinek points out that the why must be authentically communicated and embodied in every aspect of the organization. It should influence decision making, hiring practices, and company culture. When the why is clearly defined and consistently reinforced, it becomes a guiding principle that aligns the actions of all employees. The chapter also addresses the challenge of evolving the why over time. As organizations grow and change, their original purpose may need to be reevaluated. Sinek stresses that this does not mean abandoning the core why, but rather adapting it to remain relevant in a changing environment. Organizations should continually reflect on their purpose and ensure it resonates with current values and goals. In conclusion, understanding the origins of a why is fundamental to inspiring and leading effectively. By uncovering personal motivations and engaging in collaborative exploration, individuals and organizations can clarify their purpose and strengthen their commitment to it. This clarity not only drives internal alignment, but also enhances connections with customers, ultimately fostering loyalty and success. Chapter 14, The New Competition. In this final chapter, The New Competition, we are invited to rethink our entire approach to dealing with others. Traditionally, competition has been viewed as a battle of egos, where one must triumph over another. This mindset breeds tension, resentment, and often leads to a lose-lose situation in human relationships. In contrast, the new competition is not about beating others into submission or proving superiority. Instead, it's about inspiring cooperation, fostering mutual benefit, and building strong, lasting relationships. The essence of this chapter lies in the revolutionary idea that the greatest victories aren't the ones where we overpower someone, but the ones where we win them over, shifting the paradigm from conflict to cooperation. This chapter emphasizes that true success comes not from crushing your opponent, but from creating an atmosphere where everyone feels like they've won. The key is to shift the focus from competition as a zero-sum game to a cooperative effort where both parties can succeed. By adopting this mindset, we transcend the traditional cutthroat competition and enter into a realm of mutual growth. Think about it. In business, social situations, or even personal life, it's not about standing on top of others to get ahead. It's about rising together. Instead of focusing on personal gain at the expense of others, we learn that helping others succeed can lead to our own success as well. The people who understand and practice this concept are often seen as natural leaders, people others want to follow, work with, and support. The power of making others feel important. One of the most impactful ideas from this chapter is how we can change the dynamics of competition by making others feel important. It's a simple yet profound truth. Everyone craves recognition and validation. By showing genuine interest in others and recognizing their contributions, we can dissolve barriers and build alliances. This isn't manipulation. It's about sincerely valuing others' input and making them feel appreciated. In doing so, we create an environment where cooperation flourishes. When you make people feel important, they are far more likely to want to work with you, not against you. It transforms adversaries into allies and fosters a sense of camaraderie. This approach is especially powerful in moments of conflict or disagreement. Rather than doubling down on trying to be right, take a step back and give others the respect and acknowledgement they deserve. You'll find that most people will then be more open to your perspective and the situation becomes a win-win. Avoiding conflict, the art of agreement. The chapter also highlights the art of avoiding unnecessary conflict. So often, people fall into the trap of arguing simply to assert their own opinions or prove they are right. This chapter teaches us that winning an argument often leads to nothing but resentment and division. Instead, we are encouraged to find points of agreement, even when we don't see eye to eye. By focusing on common ground rather than differences, we can create a more collaborative atmosphere where disagreements become opportunities for understanding rather than battles to be won. People are far more inclined to trust and cooperate with those who show a willingness to listen, empathize, and find areas of mutual understanding. Even in negotiations or debates, the true art lies not in dominating the conversation, but in making the other person feel heard and valued. It's in those moments of connection that lasting influence is built. Creating an environment for mutual success. The final message of this chapter and of the entire book is that the most successful people in life are those who help others succeed. This is the new competition, an environment where success is shared, not hoarded. Whether it's in personal relationships, professional interactions, or community efforts, the ability to uplift others will always come back to you tenfold. People will remember how you made them feel. They'll gravitate toward you because you represent not only someone who can achieve their own goals, but someone who can help them achieve theirs. In a world full of rivalry and comparison, those who embody the spirit of cooperation and mutual benefits stand out, and they win time and time again. As this is the final chapter, it leaves us with a lasting impression. The most fulfilling victories in life are those we achieve with others, not over them. The new competition is a call to a higher way of living, one that moves beyond petty rivalries and instead embraces the power of collaboration, mutual respect, and shared success. It's a mindset that elevates not just the individual, but everyone around them. This profound shift in thinking can transform not only how we approach competition, but how we live our lives. If we embrace these principles, we can create a more harmonious, fulfilling, and successful path forward for ourselves and for everyone we encounter. Thanks for joining me on this enlightening journey through Start With Why by Simon Sinek here at the Book Lounge. If you were inspired by today's discussion, be sure to like this video and subscribe for more insights that spark your passion. I want to hear from you. What key takeaways resonated with you the most, and what topics should I explore in future videos? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget, you can access your free book summary and an actionable workbook through the link in the description to help you put your why into action. Until next time, let your purpose drive your journey.